the council by the will of the Force. Welcome back to another episode of the Galaxy Famous Metallica approved Jedi Talk podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another glorious episode of Jedi Talk, and as you can see, you can check out this new beautiful video that we have going. Oh wait a second, no we don't. We'll get into that in just 1 second. But joining me today on the other side of Orlando, on the good side of I-4, Tom Okery. What's going on, brother?
By the right of the council, by the will of the Force. What the fuck is going on, everybody? I'm doing well. Yeah, great in this place. I guess the better side of I-4, the better side of Orlando, because I'm here.
Well, I have been woken up every single morning to the sound of construction. I sent you the video.
You did.
That sound is nonstop 24/7. And
it's awful.
As someone who doesn't even like a beeping in a video game that's like constant repetitive noise, I think I'm gonna yeet myself onto I-4 and just call it a day, you know?
Yeet. Man yeeted himself off a roof in the middle of I-4. Normal Florida day continues. Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of tell you guys why we're not doing audio this week, and after we have made all these bold promises last week, it is coming next week 100%. So we completely forgot that we weren't going to be doing our regular schedule that we record on Thursdays for Jedi Talk because of Metallica this weekend, dude.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You're going both nights. I'm going Friday, and I am like oddly excited to see Limp Bizkit.
So let's just talk Metallica. So first and foremost, I'm going to make sure this episode's up before the concert. So if you're going to Metallica, let Jedi Talk know.
Hell yeah.
If you're around, if you're in the Snake Pit, I'll be there. Brad will be God knows anywhere. Brad, by the way, I wanted to tell you on air, Metallica does, they're people within HQ, the people who work for them, interns, whatever you want to call them, they walk around the concourse and handing out Snake Pit passes for free to people.
Seriously?
So just keep an eye out when you're walking around. Just keep an eye out for people who are like holding wristbands that might be looking around. Just totally 100% insider tip. So,
oh my god, dude! You know how cool that would be if I got to score one of those while I was there.
That would be insane. That would be awesome.
Oh man, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. What's your hype level? I mean, it's Metallica. I know you. Is this like an exceptional one for you, or is this just like a run of the mill? But like, you know what I'm saying?
No, first I can't say how much I love that. First off, Metallica's in the early 60s, and they play fast, heavy metal music. So this isn't the easiest thing for them to do, but they've been doing it for over 40 years, so their bodies are used to it. But they've come down and do the amount of shows that they're doing, but they do these no-repeat weekends, and I love these no-repeat weekends because there's a vibe in every city. Mm-hmm. I've done them in San Francisco, I've done them in Chicago, now doing it in Tampa, I've done it in like Phoenix and San Diego. It's such a good vibe. Metallica just takes over the town, so it's always a unique experience. They're all different. So it's my hype level's 1981 out of 10.
Nice. So. As long as I play Creeping Death, I'll be fine.
They should.
I love that song.
They should.
That's
your new favorite song.
Yeah, it's my new favorite song.
So we got Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills on night one.
Yay, Ice Nine Kills.
Did you see them at Rockville? I can't remember. Were you at that night?
Was that Friday? Or maybe I did. Hang on.
I saw them at Rockville, and then I saw them again with Metallica in Chicago last year.
Let me see if they were on, because if they were on one of the main stages, I probably did just from them like streaming the stages, which they did.
Oh, you would remember their like horror act, like their whole like chainsaw running around.
I'm pretty sure that was on Friday, because I have a friend who was there, and she was talking about seeing them and how great they were, and she's into all that stuff, and I don't remember seeing them, so I don't think I saw them. I think they were probably there Friday.
Ice Nine Kills is a cool concept. I'm not too into their music, but it's a cool concept and stage show. It just does not work well on Metallica's stage.
That's the thing. Like, I'm like, Metallica has to be at the point, and if they're not, I don't know who the fuck is, where they can just handpick people they want to play with them. So they must like know them or like be friends with them or something. Because when I heard Limp Bizkit was opening, I've always wanted to see them, almost ironically, because like I love Wes Borland, though. I think he is one of the most underrated guitar players of all time. He's so creative and just bizarre with how he plays guitar.
For sure.
But I almost like ironically want to see them because like when I was in middle school, a friend of mine gave me the Chocolate Starfish album, and I like listened to it nonstop. And it's one of those albums for me that like I can put on and I know every single word, even though I haven't listened to it in 20 years. So,
well, should be a nice little stroll down nostalgia lane there. So.
Yeah, and me and Mike were talking about it while we were at Rockville, and he was like, "They're one of the only bands from that era that I haven't seen yet." And I was like, "Yeah, me neither. I don't know if I'm not going to go see them. Like, I'm not going to go to a Limp Bizkit concert. But now that they're, I saw ICP during during Rockville, so like I feel like I'm just gonna the white trash duo there. We're gonna make it
bathe in the Faygo and
aren't they from? Isn't Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit from Jacksonville? So like it's kind of close.
It
right?
makes sense, unfortunately. Yeah, that would make sense. I don't know if you ever want to claim to be from Jacksonville. Yeah,
that adds up for sure. All right. So we have a fun list today. We're doing a top 10. We're getting back to the top 10s because we kind of did episodes pretty quickly back to back. But we're going to do the top 10 most impactful deaths in Star Wars. This one like for me took like 2 seconds to make. This was such an easy list. It just came very naturally to me.
Sure. I mean, things do come naturally to the two of us, especially when KM is involved. So just condensing the initials.
His mom's not named Kim, is it?
No, God, no.
We should just call her Kim. KM.
So impactful deaths. Yeah. This one was an easy one. I kind of toyed around with like which ones I want to like. I put a few in that feel like so on the nose, but I'm like, no, those are too impactful. I'm overthinking it. Like they have to be involved, So
yeah, that's exactly because I almost put a pod racer. And that would have made sense for this list.
Well, see,
I mean?
Not necessarily, because these lists, like, there's going to be a few personal ones for me on there. So you'll see.
See, all mine are like personal to me too, because I remember the feeling of seeing them for the first time. That's kind of how I went by this, and mine are actually ranked like from least impactful to most impactful.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and start here with number 10? Tom, I'll let you go first. I will defer to you. I almost said divert.
Sure thing.
That's not the word.
You will throw it over to me, kick it over to me. Thank you. Let's synergize. Let's synergize. # laughs in corporate. So, you ever see those videos, the laughs in corporate guy?
No.
I think his name is Champagne Cruz. Online social media, he puts some funny like he does a lot of like different generational humor. Like he'll do Gen Z, Gen X, Millennials, and Boomers. And they'll be like boomers working from home, and they're all like super corporate. Like, why are we working from home? And like they're like firing everybody. It's funny. It's funny. So, all right, number 10. You're going to get some Fallen Order Survivor stuff from me. So we're going to kick it off with my number 10 most impactful death. And this is a personal one, but hear me out on why it's super meaningful. It's meaningful for a main Star Wars character and one who was introduced and killed in this game. But Trilla Suduri, a.k.a. the second sister. But I'm putting it on here as Trilla because she dies as Trilla. She doesn't die as the second sister. You fight Cal at the end. She eventually, gets into it with Darth Vader, and because Trilla, a.k.a. the second sister, doesn't kill Cal, Darth Vader decapitates her. Just takes her right out there. And Trilla looks at Cal, and I can't remember if Seer's there yet or not. It's been a very long time since I played Fallen Order. I need to rectify that. She says something very just like, avenge us or save us. Basically to Cal, just like do something about this. And the reason why it's impactful to me is one is like Trilla has one of the most just super upsetting stories in Star Wars because she was a Padawan, so she didn't get to live a typical childhood, and then she's ripped from the Inquisitors, after her master, Seer, kind of just gives up their location, gives them up. And then she's tortured, turned into Inquisitor, and then eventually gets killed by by Darth Vader. And that's impactful for Darth Vader, too, because it shows how ruthless he is in this time period. So,
that's
number
a good
10
one.
is Trilla.
That's a good one. I'm really hoping that Fallen Order 2 comes to the Switch too. I feel like it
Oh,
should,
Survivor?
Yeah. It should. I feel like it should run on there. I mean, if Cyberpunk 2077 can run on the
Oh,
cartridge,
yeah.
it should be able to run on Switch too. I wonder if that's something that EA is gonna. Is it EA?
I
that
hope
did that
so.
Game?
Respawn. Does EA do it? Yes.
EA published it,
yes.
right? Yeah.
EA,
I wonder if
published
would
it.
publish that to the Switch too. We'll see.
I would hope.
Because I really want to play that game because I don't have. This is my first quote next gen console. I didn't get on the PS5 or the Xbox train, so. And I'm glad I didn't buy an Xbox because it was like Xbox is dying.
Aren't you going to pick the Switch up like tomorrow, today, something
Tonight,
like that?
midnight.
Tonight.
I got to
All right.
go and on my lunch break today, I'm going to run down to GameStop, pay off the balance, so I don't have to wait in line and do that tonight at midnight. So I can just because what GameStop's doing is they're just like you pay for it, you get like a ticket or something, and then at midnight they're going to have a finish paying line and a pickup because I've paid line.
All right.
So I'm trying to avoid staying there till 1 or 2 in the morning. But yeah, tonight, Switch 2. Very excited. My number 10 is one of the most lackluster as far as executions go. No pun intended. As far as how they executed the death is just so stupid, and I've always thought it was so dumb. But it is impactful to the galaxy as a whole because it creates Darth Vader. That's Padme Amidala's death in Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, that's fair.
I hate how she dies. Like,
Me too.
If you ask any mom, like any good mom, if them giving birth to their children at that moment they lost the will to live, like that just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just dumb. It's worded poorly. It's stupid.
Well, if they're under the care of the American healthcare system, then yes,
that's true.
Might
I mean,
have,
it is like a
so.
$40,000 expense, but
Well, that, but also look up. It's crazy that this country has the amount of maternal deaths that it does.
yeah,
I just want to put it out there. It's absolutely insane.
That's traumatic
fucked
and
up.
horrible. But like,
Yep.
That's
But
not
anyway, go
what
on about
happened.
the
it wasn't
fantasy shit.
that wasn't a medical issue with Padme, which that would have made
No.
more sense. Like that's what they should have done. Like that would have him losing her because of that would have been because it's something he couldn't control. Like that would have made way more sense. And they chose to do this.
Yep.
Like she gave up the will to live. I've always thought it's so fucking stupid. But that's number 10 for me because it is really important in the galaxy. But like the way they did it was just so lame to me. It could have done. They could have. She deserved better than that.
She deserved better.
She
You know who deserved? Seeing Padme survive would have been. I mean, Padme maybe eventually coming back, like kind of like Aquaman's mom was lost in the middle of the earth, right, in the first movie. Like a Padme being maybe lost in like a different galaxy, a la Ezra, could have been an interesting thing, but that's neither here nor there.
Couldn't he world between worlds and see her?
Oh, sure. I mean, he could probably see her now, knowing that we believe he's the father of the Force now. So anyway,
Yeah, interesting.
but that's neither here nor there.
What's your number 9?
My number 9 is Yaddle. We saw her death in Tales of the
Oh man, I should have put that on here.
Tales of the Jedi, and why it's so super impactful. It's because it just goes to show you how far Count Dooku goes. You know, to basically he comes back, and we see a very important gap bridged between like Phantom Menace or really Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, of how Dooku turns when he gets approached by Sidious, Palpatine, and him just killing Yaddle is kind of just like, albeit the closed garage in the story here of, yep, well, Dooku's bad and he killed Yaddle. Now we know. So it's just impactful from you know, taking such a character we don't know so much about, but she's the same species as a Beloved and Yoda, right? And so it's just like, oh, we only know of 2 of these, you know, at this time. So, and I mean 3 with Grogu by the time we see this footage, but you know, basically seeing how her life was taken away, not the fact that she could be out there, makes it even more impactful because damn, Yoda's gone, Yaddle's gone, it's just Grogu.
Yeah. I wonder if
that
they'll
makes
ever
sense.
announce what species that is. I kind of hope they don't. It's kind of fun that it's just like its own thing.
It is fun. It is fun that it's its own thing. I mean, but also at the same time, there's a part of me that kind of wants to know, craves to know. I've always thought it'd be cool to link that species to almost like the living essence of the Force, like every single one of them are born that strong.
I've had the same kind of thought. Like, if it would be cool if they did like these are like experiments that the Force uses to make conscious beings or something.
Yeah. It's almost like they're
Divine.
what's the word
or
I'm looking
something.
for? Like incursions or something. Like incursions in the Force, and every
Yeah.
time the Force is evolving, like these creatures are born. Maybe they're born on Dagobah. Maybe that's why Yoda went back there. Oh man, that could be such a crazy like deep dive into that. But
Yeah, that'd
we're
be
talking
something
about
cool to explore. It'd be cool.
we're talking about debts. Debts. What's your number 8 or number 9? I'm sorry. I
My
just did
number
number.
9
What's your
is
number 9?
Paz Vizsla from The Mandalorian. That was
Oh,
such
I almost
a
put
shocking,
Paz in there. Yeah.
That was such a shocking, like, wow, I really kind of thought this character was going to be around kind of moment. Because it's not like he's, like, he sacrificed himself. So, like, he helped, and that's impactful, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I really thought with him being played by Jon Favreau that we would kind of get more of that character. And it kind of bums me out that we won't, because he's such a unique and interesting kind of character, especially with his backstory. Being part of the Vizsla clan and all that stuff. So it was just, it was shocking to me when that first happened. And I was just like, wow, all right, we're going for it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was one of those moments where you're like, all right, well, this is no one's safe if this guy's not safe. This kind of like background character, essentially. You know,
Yeah.
he's
he got his ass handed to him by the Praetorian Guard, so Mandalore can be rebuilt.
Yep, I need to rewatch season 3 of Mando.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it wouldn't hurt.
I mean, the whole thing.
I was gonna say I've been jonesing them to actually rewatch all of Star Wars and like include the TV shows and all of it too, start to finish.
Yeah, it's. I haven't watched anything Star Wars except Andor in a while.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Andor's a good thing.
Andor was a good thing. All right, what's your number 8?
My number 8. I'm going to go with Han Solo, and a lot of people may think he's a little higher on the list. They want him like lower or higher, however you want to say that. It's like more impactful. But the reason I put him at 8, he's still very impactful because he aided such a big character progression stab, if you will, pun intended, to Kylo. You know, it basically solidified, okay, well, Ben's done, Ben's gone. Ben maybe showed up there for a second when he might have been serious about handing that lightsaber over to Han, but I think we all knew. The moment, I mean, Star Wars fans, the moment they walked across the bridge there, the two of them were showing up, so strategically lined up, and that shot over the top, we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, Han Solo is on my list as well. He's higher up for me for that exact reason. He's a legacy character.
Yes. I just think
like, yeah, I'm with you. The second I was in the theater the first time and it showed that like shot above and like the catwalk with no railing, I'm like, ah, shit. I've always loved that scene between the two of them because obviously it's fake. We know that, right? But like there is like some serious conflict in Adam Driver's face where he's like kind of at the last second, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And he says in The Last Jedi, like, I didn't even, when Snoke's like, you couldn't even kill your father. He's like, I didn't hesitate. And you're like, yes, you did, bitch.
Yeah.
You definitely hesitated, man. Like,
you
I feel like there's a possibility, and this would be one of those cool things that would, like, a Star Wars what if. Like, what if he didn't kill Han Solo? And what if, like, if he chose to actually turn back to good in that moment? Like, what would that look like? That'd be that's one of the things I'd like to see with what ifs in Star Wars. Not like, what if it was Captain Canada instead of Captain America? Like, who gives a shit?
That would be one hell of an interesting story because it's like, okay, you go to The Force Awakens and then Han, so to speak, saves Ben and he goes from Kylo to Ben. And then the movies are, you have Ben on your side fighting Snoke or / Palpatine and maybe a couple other new apprentices. But then maybe there's like this overarching story to the whole time in the rest of the movies. It's like, is Ben ever going to go back? Maybe Palpatine's trying to get him back. You know, he's got it in him to be, because it's like the whole, if Anakin turned from Vader back to Anakin still, would he ever go back to Vader? You know, without dying. We're talking about these alive people. So yeah, I mean, you know, come to us, Lucasfilm. We could do sequels differently if you want.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I know they will never do what ifs. I really don't think they will.
I don't think they need to.
It'd be fun, dude. It'd be so fun.
It would be.
It'd be such a fun time.
What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Mace Windu.
Mace
Windu. that one was another one for me where it was like shocking, but not really, because like where is he in the original trilogy? He kind of has to be gone.
Yes.
But I remember seeing it as a teenager and just being like, damn, dude, I really liked this guy's character as a teenager. And like, I like Samuel L. Jackson just in general. So I love to hate Mace Windu. He's almost one of those people like, have you ever watched Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
So he's like Skyler, where he's right, but you hate him.
Yeah.
He's
sure.
right ultimately, but like, while you watch it, you're like, oh, come on, man. And then like, you're like, he's right though, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he kind of like directly
correct. He's ultimately correct. I mean, whether
he's ultimately correct because of the decisions that he was stubborn about. He was ultimately correct because of how Mace was. Mace could have, I don't know. It's almost like a catch, right? It's almost like a catch-22 there.
Yeah.
But his death basically signifies the birth of Darth Vader as well. So
they keep teasing like Mace is coming back. Please don't. Don't do that. So people have to die.
Yep.
Let it go.
Yep. My number 7 is staying dead, but he's got a series coming out about him, and that's Maul. That's nice. Darth Maul at the hands of Obi-Wan in Rebels. Not only is that such a great scene for so many reasons we've talked about on the podcast before, but it's just like Maul is, he's a villain. He's done some pretty bad things, but he's just one of those characters too that you just understand the motives because he's truly his conviction is as high as ever about his revenge on Obi-Wan that he wants to get, and even to exacting revenge on Palpatine for kind of stringing him along there, and then eventually figuring out that shit Skywalker was his play the whole time. And then when he's dying, saying to Obi-Wan, he's like, is he truly the chosen one? And then Obi-Wan basically like, yeah, like Maul in death, super impactful because at least this poor guy who's gone through so much, losing his mother, brother, his whole life, building himself back up, at least feels a little right about what he's gone through. So Maul's a good, impactful death. Great character.
It's a good one, and in that scene, we've talked about it at nauseam with the show, but that that scene is just so well done. It's so short and sweet and to the point, and it's just beautiful. It's a good one. He should have been on my list, but was not. But you know who is in my number 7 spot?
Yeah, who's that?
Vice Admiral Holdo.
Oh yeah, I didn't put her on here. Damn it. Good one though.
What a cool way to go.
The Holdo maneuver.
The Holdo maneuver, man. Like, it was one of the coolest things in 8 was that visual of that. And honestly, that's kind of why it made my list, is the visual aspect of it, because it's just such a cool scene. I remember going to see the movie in theaters like a few days, because I saw it like 3 or 4 times in theaters, I think. Maybe more. But I remember going to see it the second day that it's not second day. It was second day. But the second time I saw it, there was like a sign out front that was like, there is a part in this movie where the audio is out. It is a creative choice and not like a malfunction. They weren't super specific. And I remember being like, I wonder what scene they're talking about. And then seeing it the second time, I was like, oh yeah, there was no sound. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool scene. I love it. And
it is.
The only thing I wish they'd have done better with her character was in episode 8, they should have given more backstory at how Leia knows this person, because we know a lot of people that Leia knows, and it would have just made more sense, I think, as a whole. But the book is fantastic. If you want to know more about
the book,
the
does it, yeah.
But even just one flashback like that, showing her on Alderaan as a kid, would have been impactful. It didn't have to be long. You could have done a minute or two.
I mean,
just
to
establish
a bad idea, yeah.
This whole time, because you never see her in the original trilogy, and
show her, because her and Holdo met at like the like the senator camp, or like the up and coming camp, or something like that, right?
Yeah, like the future business leaders of America in Star Wars.
No, that's exactly what it was. It's pretty much what it fucking was, with all the other white people from Alderaan.
They saw Bail Organa, and they're like, ugh.
Yeah. It's like, how do all those racist Alderanians? They had it coming. Alderanians? No,
Alderanian?
Alderanians.
I don't know.
My number 6, not from Alderaan, but we saw her trying to rebuild the Jedi Archive in Survivor until Darth Vader stab, Seer Jenda. So Seer is super impactful because she's a transition point for Cal Kestis, right? A lot of people like to call Cal Kestis like this gray Jedi, and I'm with you on most of that. And he's just like this untraditional Jedi, one, especially since he's now in a relationship with Marin that we saw at the end of the game. And he's one to, like, he kind of gives into it attachments. He doesn't really follow that. He knows the rule, but anyway. So he sits in this different realm from everybody else, and he's like, I always see Cal as like, and don't forget, Cal spent time with Saw Gerrera, so it's like I always see him as like that Jedi who's willing to do a little bit more than the rest, but it's all for good. And Seer was his final master. He had two masters, just like a lot of our Jedi, with Jaro Tapal until he was 9, and then Seer finished his training. And losing her really means that Cal's on his own now, and he has his own Padawan now with Bo Dakuna's kid. Oh my God, her name's escaping me. Damn, there you go. I got to play Survivor again. So he's with Bode's child. He's got Marin with him. He's with Grease. They're on Tanalorr. There's so much ahead of him. And this is really a personal one for me, because at the end of Survivor, when Cal is standing there and time's is standing still for him, but everything else is moving around him, and he just watches Seer's body burn from start to finish and doesn't move a muscle. It's just so like, damn. It's like you could just really feel that emotion in that scene. So, R.I.P. to Seer.
It's a good one. I really got to play that game.
Yes, you do.
Where are we at? Number 6 for me? So number 6 for me is... This one messed me up as a kid, to be honest with you. One of the best things about Attack of the Clones, I'm talking about Shmi Skywalker. That was Attack of the Clones?
Oh, yep, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, okay. Man, the way she got just horrific. Yeah. Just horrific.
Yeah.
Man, it's it's like, it makes me uncomfortable to think about. Like, it's so inhumane and fucked up, and it really, I don't know about how you felt as a, did you see that movie when you were younger?
Yes, but you have to understand, Brad, my relationship with my parental unit is a little different, so maybe it didn't have an impact on me.
No, that's not. I was like, God, I've seen what you've done to other people. Can you please? No, I was just going to say, like, it made me look at the Tusken Raiders so differently.
Oh,
like,
sure.
You see them in the original trilogy, and they're these kind of like creepy looking things, and you know, they're bad guys, you know, in the sense that like they're shooting at Luke. But like then you see this shit, and you're like, God damn, dude, what the?
Oh
fuck?
yeah. And no, of course that's it. I'm joking in a sense of like I don't want to see that done to anybody, but because that's where that's where I thought you were taking it. But yeah, the Tusken Raiders, right? You think they're one thing, but maybe they didn't do a good job in the first half. George didn't do a good job in the original trilogy to tell you how bad they are. So he had to make them like this. You know, fun fact about the Tusken Raiders, there's evidence of them everywhere in Star Wars Outlaws, but you never get a chance to fight them.
Really?
You always, when you're fighting like raiders and pirates, they're always either humans or aliens. For whatever reason, the game didn't want you fighting Tusken Raiders. I don't know.
I wonder why. Huh, that's interesting.
Maybe because Book of Boba Fett redeemed them in a sense.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I didn't love about that. It's like, these guys are monsters, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're monsters. Yeah,
but they were. But I mean, we know why they're monsters. They were driven out, and they're
still
the world. Yeah,
I mean, you still do fucked up shit. You're still the fucked up person.
I know.
So that was that one was impactful, and like impactful as like a kind of like a holy shit moment, but also like that's essentially what gives us Darth Vader. I mean, that's like the first step. I mean, the first step was him leaving because he's not in control of that. But then like this is like what really, the trauma for this is what really.
The women and the children too. Yeah. He lost it here. This was a kind of mark on his like the Force gods were like, whoa.
I remember seeing that and for the first time and just being like, holy shit, when he like flipped out and killed everybody. That scene is so badass, dude. He just doesn't care. He's just full out don't care. Women and the children, like wild.
Yep, I know.
Fucking wild. But
wild is right.
It's one of my favorite deaths, so it's kind of hard to say favorite deaths, but like that
I get
really
what you mean.
Set into motion a bunch of shit.
It's impactful. Yeah.
All right, man. What's your number 5?
My number 5 will be Luke. None other than Luke Skywalker himself. Number 5, smack dab in the middle. So this is one of them. I'm like, I kept going like teetering, like
Mine's higher.
you know, he's like a must have, but he's too on the nose. But the reason I want to put him on there, one, it pisses a lot of people off how he died, so I'm gonna put that in there just to be a butt. And but his death is so impactful for the greater universe of Star Wars, and then even the role he played in Rise of Skywalker as a Force ghost, because we had to see a Luke Force ghost. I mean, we had to. It was eventually going to happen in Star Wars, right? I mean, his masters came to him. So anyway, his ultimate sacrifice, his pacifism, in a sense of basically showing Kylo, he's like, I won't fight you. I'm a fucking Force projection, and I'm going to kill myself just to not fight you and let the others get away. It's their battle. You need to see. You need to learn. Let this be the last lesson that I teach you. Like, holy shit, is that fucking badass?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so there you go for all that and then some.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when it gets to mine.
I figured.
Mine's higher up.
I figured.
But yeah, so my number 5 is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
I remember seeing that for the first time.
Really? Okay.
I do. I remember I was sitting at the house that we first moved to North Carolina in Charlotte. I was sitting there, and I'm pretty sure I was with my buddy Justin, who I've known since I was in kindergarten. And I remember we were watching, and I think he had started watching Star Wars before I did. And I had to be like 6 or 7 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing the Star Wars VHSs on like our VHS rack at our house. And I remember like my dad going, "You'd like Star Wars, you should watch it," and watching it with me and Justin. And when he goes to kill Obi-Wan, and then like he just like vanishes, which I never really understood how like what the implications of that are. Did he like become one with the Force before Vader killed him, or did that send him to the Force? Like no other Jedi has died like that.
Well, I look at it this way. It's like as soon as he died, he became one with the Force in the way we know him because of what he says to Vader. Strike me down, I'll become more powerful
than you could possibly imagine.
You imagine, yeah. So it's like, so he basically like Obi-Wan had his training with Qui-Gon been done by then, right? We assume like he's been taught, showed him how to achieve this Force ghost life or whatever you want to call it, his essence. He was ready. Like Obi-Wan was ready, and he's like. In that moment, he thought, okay, you know, all I need is my death to bring me because I'm ready to go. Like he couldn't like do it himself. Like you know, he couldn't do it himself. And then become a Force ghost. That's just not how it works. So he's just like, fine, Vader, kill me in front of Luke, and then you're fucked because Luke's going to see that. It's going to stick with him, and he's going to eventually be your undoing. And Obi-Wan was ready for that because he had learned how to exist beyond, physical.
Yeah. I've never no other character in Star Wars has died like that. Like you see the Jedi on Geonosis in 2, and there's a bunch of Jedi that are powerful and not named, and not a single person has ever died like that. True. I also understand too. Like I'm not an idiot. Like I understand that like it's just one of those things where it's like they didn't think that far ahead. Kind of thing.
Yeah, this was the 70s. Yeah,
so,
77.
They weren't thinking what are the implications of this death across a franchise in 40 years. You know what I mean? Like, but like they've worked other stuff into canon. Like I want to, and this might be somewhere, and I just don't know it. And if it is, comment down below because I'd like to know what the like canon explanation of it is. But yeah, I mean, that one was big for me. That was big. Mm-hmm. All right, what's your next one? Number 4.
Number
5 I don't know where we're at.
No, it's 4. It's 4. Yeah, because I have 4 left. My number 4. Ooh, this one, and we knew it was gonna hurt when Luthen died, but it hurt, and it's super impactful for me. Not only is it super emotional for those invested in Andor and how recent this was, but man, he's the straw that stirs the drink. He was the spark here. And the moment he died, if you will, was like the moment everybody started to come together in the rebellion. All those cells on the outside, like the ones that captured Cassian in the beginning of Season 2, that was so disorganized, like the rebel cell of Space Alabama, didn't know what was going on there, although we know what planet it is. But like just like the different cells with like the different rebels, like they were all starting to come together. Space Mississippi. The partisans were pretty much all but done because Saw had met his match with the Rhino, and he's like, "I'm not on Jeddah." Yes, you are. We know you are. You can't prove that. You're wearing a "I'm in Jeddah" shirt, Saw.
I went to Jeddah and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
Yeah. So it's just like Clea's now on Yavin because of Luthen, and once everybody found out Luthen was really gone, there was two things. One, it got real to them because it's like they know if Luthen's dead, he's been found out, and he was. Deidre found him, and the Empire knew. The Empire found everything, so it's like it gets real. So Luthen's death made shit real in Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I can't wait to go back and rewatch those episodes again.
Mm-hmm.
My dad sent me a really funny text. He finally watched Andor season 1 and 2, and he sent me a text. And he's like, I'm in the middle of the first whatever arc of Andor, and he's like, if I see this bitch keep dancing, I'm gonna turn this fucking thing off.
Mon Mothma was falling into her insanity, Mr. Hughes.
No.
God,
he was just like, I'm so fucking sick of watching her dance. That's so funny. And then I sent him our sandstorm meme, and he thought it was funny. All right, number 4 for me was Quill from The Mandalorian. That was another one for me where it's like, okay, I thought this guy was going to be a major character, and he was impactful and helped, but like, damn, he went out like that? All right.
Peace out. Just peace out, Quill.
Just peaced out. Like, it was just very sudden kind of death, and it was anytime it's like not a human, it kind of feels different. It feels like an animal or a pet or something.
Which is always worse.
Yeah.
I can watch a human die any day, but you go after the dog in the movie, I'm out.
Yeah, that's why John Wick is successful, literally. If it was
I don't watch those, yeah.
Have you ever seen John Wick?
Nope. And the moment I heard like the dog was involved in this, I'm never watching this. Fuck this movie.
It's rough.
Yep, not doing it. No thanks.
Yeah,
what's your number 4?
Yeah, 4 was Quill for me.
Oh, duh. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. See. I want to get away from the.
It's all right.
I
understand. I understand. Rest in peace, Quill. He's one of the goats.
There you go. He has not spoken anymore. So number 3.
He hasn't spoken in a while.
He has not spoken in a while. My number 3, and it will be my last call from the recent Andor series, but Cassian Andor himself. Now that we know everything about him, the sacrifice that was made, his journey from start to finish, which we've documented very well, he's number 3.
I wish I'd have put this on mine.
I mean, just like the way he dies, and then dying knowing that Bix is on Ferrix with his kid.
Mm-hmm. Man, that was an ending like you didn't see come. I was genuinely shocked at that.
Just a brilliant way to make Rogue One better, and it was really good to begin with.
Yep. Now the only thing about Rogue One too is doesn't he kiss what's her name at the end?
He does. Yeah. I mean,
that's one weird thing. You guys, you got to get one last thing in before you leave this mortal coil.
I guess so. I mean, it's so weird. Like I mean, we obviously know he never had any contact with Bix after that.
Yeah. God dang. I can't believe I didn't put Andor on there.
That's all right. That's what makes this list fun. What's your number 3?
My number 3, we talked about it earlier, and we can just kind of leave it at where we talked about it, unless you have anything else to add. Han Solo.
No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, just that it made Kylo. And
yep.
It's a controversial death. I wish he would have died a little bit different, but it's still impactful.
I think they should have. I like the idea that they kind of had where it's like, yes, the sequel trilogy characters are still around, but they kind of got focused on one movie, and that kind of went off the rails with Rise of Skywalker because of Carrie Fisher's death, obviously.
It did,
but I liked the idea of, and I fully think they were going to kill Leia off in 9. But I liked the idea of like, this is kind of Han's finale, this is kind of Luke's finale, and then that was kind of Leia's finale in a way. I don't know. I feel like to me it was like they telegraphed it too much, you know. But I think overall it's effective.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's there. Something's there. Something's there.
So it's impactful as shit. It makes Kylo kind of solidifies it. We talked about it already.
It does. It does. My number 2, most impactful, Anakin Skywalker. And the reason being is most impactful, just like we all know the story of Darth Vader. Anakin to Darth Vader, Vader to Anakin, and how Luke saves him at the end and after he throws the Empire down the Death Star 2 shaft. Giggity. And, Anakin is a lesson for just everybody in life that you could redeem yourself in a sense, not in the sense of going out killing people the way he did that and then saying, "Oh, I'm better now." No. If you went out and committed crimes like that, that's a bad thing. But if you like need to turn your life around for the better, right? If you're hanging on to something, there's something negative in your life. I don't know. He's kind of like a symbol in the story that's like you can always do something before it's too late, right? They say old dogs can't learn new tricks, kind of in a sense, but no, you can. There's always room to change, I guess. It's like Vader's biggest story, even though it's it's a fantasy story for children and adults who have temperamental issues, but. There's something grander there, and it's a feel good redemption story too. So and without Anakin, there's no Vader, there's no Star Wars, there's no Impact, there's no I am your father. So that's why Anakin's number 2 for me.
Yeah, I almost put him on there, but there were some other ones where it's like
that's fair.
To me, it was just a little more impactful. You probably could have replaced Paz Vizsla with that one, but I knew it was going to be on your list. 100%,
yeah.
So that's why I didn't do it. My number 2, we talked about it already too ad nauseum. Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Him becoming one with, I didn't really say much when you brought up him, but him becoming one with the Force to me is like one of the most fucking awesome things in all of Star Wars because he gets to die without getting stabbed in the face with a lightsaber. Mm-hmm. It's a peaceful Jedi death
on the first like Jedi planet, first like established temple.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
That's pretty badass. So, all right, ready for my number 1?
Yes.
I know he's not on your list because you haven't said your number 1, and I knew what your number 1 would be. But my number 1 most impactful death in Star Wars, the first one I thought of when we came up with this list, and that's Kanan Jarrus. The way Kanan, the way Kanan sacrifices his life for Hera, for Ezra, for the Ghost Crew, for Zeb, for Chopper, for everybody, for Sabine. The way he sacrifices his life and just how he dies at the end. He gets his sight back just a little bit before he just, boom, gone. One with the Force and saves everybody from certain death because of the Empire. There's so many different sparks of the rebellion and there's so many different things that happen that define people. But this is Hera's moment. This is Ezra's moment in a sense. Sabine's too, But Kanan is just me personally, plus how it's impactful to Star Wars and what it does for all the other characters and who he saved is so. Because you don't get that, then Ahsoka's path is different. Mm-hmm. Kanan doesn't sacrifice himself. Hera's not in where she needs to be. So yeah. Kanan Jarrus gets my number
Kanan's
1.
Awesome. Great character. One of the most underrated Star Wars characters, I would say.
I hope we get more of him somehow in Ahsoka Season 2.
I can't believe it didn't happen in Season 1.
That's okay. I'm kind of glad it didn't. Slow roll that. You don't need to toss him in right away.
Everything. That's fair. Especially when you got Hayden.
We got the picture of him in the Ghost that we saw. Mm-hmm. In Hera's seat. So
I saw that in the trailer at Celebration.
That's cool.
That was really cool, and that's why I kind of thought that was going to happen in Season 1 because I kind of brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 1. I mean, fucking obviously, but like in all seriousness, like his death in Phantom Menace. How about Qui-Gon? His death in Phantom Menace is so shocking, especially if you look at like who played him, because you would think like if people, it'd be so fun to watch Star Wars with somebody who has never seen any of them. Because everyone knows Liam Neeson, like especially now, and be like Liam Neeson's in Star Wars, and we're like, what? And they killed him in one movie. Like, I don't think that would happen now. I think if they signed on somebody like that, they would have kind of milked that, I think.
Definitely.
But like I remember, like that scene, Duel of the Fates is the greatest. It will never be topped. Lightsaber battle.
Yeah.
For me, it's the greatest, and the tension that's built up, and then like how he dies, and like he's fighting by himself, and then like watching Obi-Wan amp himself up in that hallway, like just bouncing up and down, just ready to go.
Yeah.
Just.
No, it's
every
iconic.
time I watch it, I'm like, no. Like I'm hoping something different happens, like an idiot. It's so
like,
heartbreaking.
We keep seeing too callbacks to that death in like the way Maul dies and like the way Obi-Wan fights. So it carries a lot of weight.
It sparked a huge chain of events.
Mm-hmm.
Without him dying, who knows what would have happened with Anakin? Because the guy who originally picked him could have been his master at some point down the line.
Which would have been way better than Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan was inexperienced.
Yep, and it would. I think somebody like Qui-Gon would have been helpful to him because of how kind of peaceful he was. You know what I mean? Like he could have probably helped him figure that anger out and stuff. I don't know. That's headcanon. That'd be another really good what if.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Dooku's path would have been different if Qui-Gon stayed around.
Yep,
it all would have been different.
Greatest Star Wars character, man. Love that guy.
Well, what do you guys? What on our list should we have included? It'd be like, you guys are fucking idiots. That shit. You guys sure need that shit on there.
Comment down below. Give us your top 10 Star Wars deaths and let us know which ones they are. And this was fun. We need to do more top 10 lists. They're fun to do.
Absolutely. We'll throw them in randomly when there may not be news. So see you guys at Metallica. You guys have been great. We've been Jedi Talk Podcast. Follow us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk. Hey, Brad, take us to Tampa for Metallica.
Hell yeah, let's go. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe. May the Force be with you.
Rise, Jedi Knight.